satin shoes there.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you've come in a blizzard of papers, so we're going to let you get on with it.
Thank you. I'm going to look through these and get ready for the papers later.
All right. Today is Quitters Day. Almost half of us are going to give up. That's what we do. 75% of smokers tried to quit this new year, and quite a lot of them give up today, and then almost half won't try to give up again until 2020. Well, Simon Manthorpe is the CEO of Vapemate, which is one of those. Well, good morning to you, Simon. It's a vaping thing.
It is, yeah. We're a manufacturer of electronic cigarettes and e-liquids that go into e-cigarettes, and subsequently we provide products that smokers can use as an alternative to tobacco and as part of that sort of quit journey.
And we still don't know really what happens when you smoke an e-cigarette, but there is a general thought that it's much better than smoking, whatever it is.
Absolutely. I mean, the evidence to date would suggest the Royal College of Physicians, the Cancer Research UK, Public Health England are all very supportive of electronic cigarettes, and the view is that they're around 95 to 99% safer than tobacco. They're obviously, nothing's as safe as not putting anything in your lungs except for air, but if you're looking for an alternative to tobacco, then electronic cigarettes have a huge success rate in keeping people away from tobacco, and the evidence would so far suggest that they're, certainly miles away from the harm that tobacco causes to the human body.
Morning, Simon. It's Rhea here. You describe your product as part of the journey of quitting. So what do you know about people actually quitting your product and stopping smoking altogether, whether it's an e-cigarette or tobacco?
Well, we know that, e-cigarettes have been around since 2006, when the first e-cigarettes went on sale. Around 3 million vapers or 3 million smokers have made the switch, and around 900,000 people over the last 10 years have actually quit tobacco and vaping. So there are large numbers of people who use e-cigarettes as part of the journey and then will subsequently quit absolutely everything. And however, there are people, obviously, who make a switch, who perhaps fail repeatedly at quitting cigarettes and just need something else other than tobacco. And they'll use electronic cigarettes as an alternative to tobacco in that scenario.
Simon, what happened to you?
I smoked for 20 years. I was introduced to e-cigarettes very late in 2012, and made the switch really quickly. I sort of smoked my last cigarette in 2013, and I've never looked back. I was asthmatic. Certainly got slightly breathless if I was jogging or running anywhere or walking up and down stairs too quickly, and my health's been fantastic since I've quit smoking and switched to e-cigarettes, and I do still occasionally use one, but it's the journey for me was more about quitting tobacco and getting away from that, and it's been fantastic, and they've been really beneficial. And
we have seen these adverts where they've got cotton wool and they do a they show what happens after you've been smoking, just covered in this sticky goo. It's quite revolting. I tell you what I think is, I do think that New Year's Eve is quite a bad time to give up kind of almost anything, because it's cold, it's dark, you've got the post-festive blues, you've got the bills from Christmas. It's actually the sort of time perhaps you're almost doomed, aren't you?
It's almost the last time you want to be giving something up.
I agree.
It's a very stressful time of the year. It's the time when people most look to change their job. It's the time when, straight after the new year, if people are considering moving at the back end of the previous year, they'll look to do that. It's a time for so many new things to start and so many changes in your life. Making a huge change like quitting smoking, or committing to run, 5K a day or whatever it is you're doing at the beginning of the year, putting yourself under huge pressure isn't always the right way to do it. And we can see that from the data. Over 92% of the smokers who try to quit New Year's Day will give up on that journey today, and that's a real shame.
Simon, products like yours are often criticised for, you walk down the street, you walk past someone vaping and you can smell it a mile off. And they're criticised for being targeted perhaps at younger people, because they're all these kind of flavours like cotton wool, or not cotton wool, cotton candy, whatever it's called, candy floss, that's the one. All those sweeter tastes. Do you think that you could do more to market these products to older smokers, to older people?
Well, I think we do market them to older people. So when the new regulations came in 2017, it restricted the advertising of these products. So there are very few places that you can advertise these now. You can't advertise them on the radio. You can't advertise them on the TV. They're not being presented to youngsters. There are some brands who are very irresponsible in this market. There are some brands who clearly are directly copying sweets and drink brands, down to the packaging and the look of the product. And I think that is irresponsible, and I think there are some challenges around that. We don't tend to do that. It's not something that we think is the right approach. But we only sell these products to over 18s. I mean, the industry has very strict age verification requirements. And, at the end of the day, these are products who are for smokers. And that's it. I mean, one of the really interesting things that's come about since e-cigarettes have been around, and I know a lot of people talk about e-cigarettes as a gateway to tobacco for young people, and that simply isn't the case, and the data doesn't show that. I think today around 70% of 16 to 24-year-olds have never smoked a cigarette in their lives. And if you look at the numbers in 1974, when the data was first collected, that was only 46% who had never tried. So there is a huge trend. Young people are moving away from tobacco, at a huge rate, and e-cigarettes isn't doing anything to change that.
Thank you very much. That's Simon Manthorpe, the CEO of Vapemate. Now, Tommy Sandu.